Martial Sports Pad Podcast is here to bring you the Hard Count. I am the man they call Cobra, and with me is Ben once again. How you doing, Ben?
I am doing great, enjoying my day off. How are you?
Enjoying the off season or missing football?
I miss football, but we got baseball coming around the corner, so it's about to
Yes,
pick up.
we do. Yes, we do. We're getting ready to iron out the kinks and launch our new baseball podcast. And what is that baseball podcast called, there, Ben?
Dirt and Turf.
Dirt and Turf, where we're serving not only baseball facts but dingers.
That's right.
Yep. So what we're doing today on the Hard Count, we are getting ready to talk about NFL free agency and the draft. And oh boy, this is going to be an interesting year considering the NFL did raise the salary cap for a bunch of players.
Yeah, it's what
not players, the teams. You know what I mean?
Was it about 250 now, somewhere around that area?
It's something around like that. Because I can definitely tell you, the Buffalo Bills definitely benefited from that.
Yeah, they upped it another like 10 million, I think.
It was actually like 15 million, I think.
Oh, really? I mean, after they've already upped it once?
Yeah, it was like after it's all said and done, it's like 15 million extra.
Well, that's
after it's all said and done, because it turned the Buffalo Bills salary desperation for like 57, I think. It was like 57 to like 46 or something like that. It was real weird.
They need it.
Yeah, they do. Considering, and and of course now that free agency and the combine is starting, we are really starting to see some very interesting moves, some cuts. I saw earlier that Washington cut an offensive lineman. They're starting offensive lineman.
Yes, they did. Let's see. Let's see. Would it be terminations, I'm guessing?
Yeah, it would be termination.
Yeah, there's no listings yet for that. Let me go back to the page I was on.
Ben has the facts in front of us, so.
So right now, as of today's article on NFL's website, J.K. Dobbins, who tore his Achilles week 1 of last season, posted a video to social media on Thursday in which he was doing sprints and running on a treadmill. So he's an impending free agent. Eagles released Kevin Byard, safety, per Ian Rappaport.
Yep.
The Buccaneers have promoted Bobby Slater to vice president of sports medicine.
That's not, to be fair, Ben, that's not really necessary when it comes to coaching transactions.
I mean,
it is and it isn't.
It's on the list.
Again, it is and isn't.
But the last one is Washington.
Yeah.
They released Logan Thomas and offensive tackle Charles Leno Jr.
Yep. That was so far right now. I mean, we're early in free agency.
Yes, very early.
Very early. I mean, it hasn't even started realistically. And also, the combine is starting too. Which, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the thing. Caleb Williams, the gift that keeps on giving. Can I talk about this for a minute, Ben, before you get into it?
Go right ahead.
Caleb Williams, the player who hasn't even put a snap in the NFL, is proving to me and proving to Ben and probably a lot of other people listening to this podcast that he is the next Ryan Leaf, Johnny Manziel, Jamarcus Russell, take your pick, quarterback bust. Who has, he has a major character issue. He is showing Ryan Leaf and Johnny Manziel, hey, I won't just be an asshole, after draft, I'll be it before and show all my cards. Actually, fuck it, not just my cards, I'll show my ass. Because, he is denying a medical exam. Which, by the way, that character issue red flag that he had just turned crimson. Ben, now it's your turn.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I agree. Why would you turn down your medical history or even any type of medical eval? You're hiding something. You're hiding something in your past. You're hiding something that could be currently going on.
Yeah.
Who was
Like,
it? Was it May or Daniels that they just found some sort of fracture?
I think it was May. I think it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was May. And then I'm reading this quote. It says Williams says he can be both an artist and a surgeon as a QB. He says there are important times for both styles of play. From Packers coverage by Acme Pack Me on X. Like, get the hell out of here. Like, Caleb Williams is just, he's drama. He's another quarterback that's just going to be prima donna. You've already seen it last season. He ran up to the stands to his mom, was crying, had to hide his face because he was crying. When everybody loves their pets. Don't get me wrong, pets are amazing. But what leader of what quarterback, what leader of a team, a football team to be exact, says on live TV, when I have a bad game, I go home and cuddle my dog and watch Netflix? Like, what? That should never come out of a leader's mouth. No.
No,
That,
no.
that's,
What you should do, what should have come out of his mouth is, I think about the games.
yeah.
I think about the game I had in the past. I think about the game I have coming up. I study film, study tape, put nose to the grindstone. Do my job. Work hard, play hard. You give the typical Peyton Manning type answer, but that's what an NFL team actually wants.
And speaking of the draft, of the combine, Brady beat his record when he was 22 years old. Or 24
Brady.
years old.
Well, can I tell you why?
Why?
I guarantee you, Tom Brady didn't give a fuck about the draft.
Yeah, he finished at a 5.12, barely beating his 2000 time. That's pretty remarkable for a 46-year-old quarterback that's retired.
Look, to be fair, I disagree with that. Like I said, Tom Brady, to me, as far as his combine numbers, I don't think he gave a fuck.
Probably not.
Yeah,
And I'm reading.
I guarantee you. I mean, everyone goes, "Oh, he was a draft steal." He also didn't play. To be fair.
Oh yeah, he never had to run. The
Oh,
Saints, from what I'm reading here, the Saints have saved $9.4 million in cap space by restructuring Cameron Jordan's contract.
good,
That's
very
good.
good. Um, and speaking of of old players, you want to talk about combine numbers, not Dennis, but Darrell Green,
Oh
former,
man,
yeah, still is in the low fours, of
is
his
he
of his,
still is he still doing that?
yeah, he still runs on occasion.
Wow, that's a surprise. That's actually impressive.
I haven't seen any recent numbers now, but I think it was like 10 years ago. He still had like a 4.5 40.
Hey, that's not
And,
bad at
and
all.
you know, and to be fair, that's still good nowadays.
Yeah,
You know,
nowadays it's really good.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. He had I think he had like a 4.2. He was clocked at 4.2. He caught up to Eric Dickerson. So,
so when we talk about the draft coming up, who do you feel is going after quarterbacks?
um, well, I could definitely tell you, Chicago is going to get rid of Justin Fields. They're definitely going to be in search for quarterback. Because and the rumor is he's going to Atlanta. That's the rumor.
That's been a heavy rumor. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, but I could definitely tell you teams that need a quarterback um, are Chicago. Yeah, Chicago, probably Minnesota. The Jets probably. They'll draft a quarterback late, basically to be an understudy for Aaron Rodgers
Definitely,
if he isn't traded to Minnesota. Um,
definitely the Patriots.
The Patriots, yes, they're starting fresh. Um, Washington, could, but I also think they need to short. I also agree with you. They need to short their offensive line. And if they're going to get a quarterback, they'll get some career backup. You know,
Well,
from free agency, like Sam
according,
Darnold or something like that.
according to the new GM, he loves he loves Sam Howell. He wants to give him a shot, from what I'm
Right,
hearing.
right. That's why I said, Washington is a
Yeah,
maybe, but also they could get like a cheap free agent quarterback, to kind of be a mentor if they don't
that's all they.
if they
Yeah,
don't keep Jacoby Brissett.
yeah. I don't think Brissett's staying. I think he's going. I see
Right.
them definitely picking up somebody in the off season, whoever it
Yeah.
will be.
Yeah. Someone who is not really someone who could come in, and come in slash mentor, but is not expected to be the starter.
What I would do is the Patriots are number 3, and they pick number 3. If I was Washington, I would just trade back and take the capital from the Patriots, and they could possibly even turn one first round into 2 first rounds by trading away one of their second rounders.
I agree with that. Or they could, they could.
That's if the Patriots have more than one first round pick, which I don't know if they do. So if they do move back, they can just move back to Patriots third round pick and get another second round if the Patriots have an extra, which I'm not sure.
Yes. The
What's
the
the
thing is
Patriots?
the thing is that Washington does have capital.
Oh, Washington has tons of fucking capital right now.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially getting rid of Montez Sweat and Chase Young. That was you know a a head scratcher to me. But if they were announcing they were going to rebuild, they're going to rebuild. So whatever. Cool.
Yeah, right now the Commanders' total cap space is $79,614,671. That's
Mm.
as of February 22nd. They have the most available.
And not only that, but they've done something very interesting, and that is they've decided to renovate FedEx Field.
It
Snyder
has
Grad is actually getting upgrades. Holy shit.
That's something that's needed. They need a new stadium.
But right now the ownership group don't have enough confidence with the fan base, the fan populace, and the ownership group to even grant a new stadium.
I mean, there's a one lady in Washington D.C. who's trying to build that stadium and wants to try to entice them to come over, which we'll see if that happens. I don't know if it'll
Yeah,
happen or not.
I don't think that'll fall through. Um, to be fair, I mean, no offense, but it's just the thing is, as of right now, you know, that ownership group needs to do something with that stadium at the moment. Because I mean, I don't know if you've ever been to FedEx Field. I have.
I have not.
It is not impressive. It is to me. It's junk.
For the amount of the pricing of the tickets and the pricing of the parking, it's not worth it at all. The parking is
The
almost
parking's
more.
atrocious.
It's almost more than what it is worth for the seats itself.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm looking at
If you want the cheap seats, the $25
yeah,
seats,
those things are crap,
the
bro.
20 the 20 I mean the $25 parking, I should say. That you have to trek at least a mile.
Oh, I'm sure you do. I mean, it's like
And if you're
worst
a
experience.
larger if you are a larger fan, a person of the larger persuasion and are not used to walking more than a mile, that is a trek. It
Yeah,
is a it is a trek, and you're stopping.
yeah. I mean, I
And
do it when I go to concerts, so I mean, I'm used to it.
yeah, so well, before I went down with a back injury, I walked that just fine. I was but my Brittany, she was gassed. She ran out of steam. Like if we were about like 50 feet from my car, she was gassed.
There is one idea that we've never talked about before.
What was
Maybe
that?
these venues who have parking further out, maybe they should have trolleys or like something that picks people up like the fair does.
That's the like a little shuttle. Yes,
Yeah.
I but of course and that's maybe something the ownership group could invest in, like a little later. But as of right now, they're stuck with what they have.
It's unfortunate.
Unfortunate, but what can you do? Um, all right. So what else? What else can we talk about while we're here, man? We're
Well,
talking about.
talking about trading back in the draft, the New England
Oh
Patriots do have a
yes, of
second
course.
rounder. It's
Yep.
the second one in the second round. It's number 34 pick. So
I
why?
have a very I have a very interesting opinion about the first round.
What's that?
I think the first round isn't going to be as deep as we think.
What do you mean? Like you don't think they're gonna pick everybody that everybody thinks they're gonna pick, or
I think yes, I think that's going to happen. Like everyone, like the mock draft that everyone's going to have is going to be real screwy.
I mean, I'm gonna agree with that. Especially for the fact that the Bears are controlling everything right now.
The
They
Bears control a lot. The Carolina Panthers' biggest blunder that they've ever made, other than drafting Ray Caruth, there is their biggest blunder. And I'm talking draft day blunder. I'm not talking about Super Bowl blunder. Okay? Because they've made two of them.
I mean, they are the Bears.
I'm talking about the Panthers, not talking about
Oh,
the
the
Bears.
Panthers. My bad. The
Yeah,
Panthers.
yeah. The Bears have only made one Super Bowl. Oh, they made two Super Bowls.
The
And won
Panthers
one.
are another team that. I, when is their next pick? They don't have a first round.
Yeah, I think it's
The
their pick is
33rd.
yep, the 33rd pick.
So,
So
what did the Panthers have that they could get away? Not like
they can't move up. They are technically stuck.
they don't have any like trade capital really much of anything.
No. Again, they're stuck. They're stuck where they're at right now, and it's their own fault. They gave too much.
Now,
They gave too much for a little Texas quarterback.
well, I mean, the guy look who was drafting him. I mean, he got canned halfway through the season.
Well, I also think that Frank Reich was overridden.
Probably. I mean, I'm sure there were other people in the room that wanted somebody else, and they're like, "Oh
Yeah,
no, you're gonna, we're gonna go with this guy. I don't think you know what you're
yeah.
talking
We're gonna go with the quarterback that drives the little Tykes red and yellow car.
about." I mean, when you look at this draft, the biggest one that does stand out to me, that has the biggest, other than the Bears, that has the biggest question mark at quarterback right now, it stands out to me, are the Denver Broncos. The
Yes,
Broncos.
they are signaling that they are moving on from Russell Wilson.
And the crazy thing is, Russell Wilson's like, I don't want to go. I want to stay. Well,
To
no,
be
no
and to
shit.
be and to be fair to that, every professional every professional says I want to be with this team.
But the reason why he's saying it is
He's
because,
doing that because he's trying to garner sympathy from the fan base.
but
He's trying to get cheap pops, if that
if
makes
he
sense.
if he's not let go by a certain date coming up,
Yeah.
he gets $38 million, or I think it's like 38 million. So of course he's going to say he wants to stay. Of course he's going to try the most he wants to do to try to stay, and then get paid, and then have him get stuck, and they don't know what to do, and then they have to try to trade him for a fourth round pick.
Yeah. Yeah. Because as much as a lot of athletes don't want to admit when their time is up, Russell Wilson's time is up. He is cooked.
I don't know if his time is more up. More or less, I think it's the Donovan McNabb syndrome, where he doesn't want to learn a new system. Like, that's how it feels to me. It didn't feel like he's trying to learn. It doesn't feel
No,
like he wants to learn.
Ben, I humbly disagree with that. It's not that he doesn't want to learn. It's that he probably can't learn, especially at his at his advanced playing age. And I'm not saying that because again, you're under 40, but at the advanced playing age, the advanced playing age that he is, and he's what, like 36, 37?
But you also got to put in effect that he's was supposedly a quote unquote elite quarterback, and quote unquote elite quarterbacks aren't supposed to have struggles like that.
Not, yeah, again, if he was still elite, he wouldn't have these, again, he wouldn't have these struggles, you're right. But, again, he is so cooked, Gordon Ramsay is asking, where the hell is the lamb sauce?
Well, he's been cooked since, like, what, 2 or 3 years removed from when they won the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
And then when they had that interception, that's when it really went downhill.
When he threw that interception, it was that year he was cooked. That year after he was cooked.
Yeah, it started going downhill right after that.
Yep. And it was, and with Russell Wilson, it's the Broncos overpaid for his services. He thought, Russell Wilson believed that he was worth the money that he is supposed to be paid, that he was getting paid now.
Well, I would believe that too when everybody thinks he's like all like great and everything. I mean, his ego is by far the biggest ego I've ever seen on a quarterback.
No.
Brady's wasn't that big.
No, Brady's wasn't, but as far as ego is concerned, this year, I'm talking about like old quarterback. Aaron Rodgers had a bigger ego than freaking Russell Wilson. Shit.
Yeah, but at least he can still play.
I mean, you go 4 plays into your first game and you get an Achilles tear.
Sometimes it happens. I mean, you never know. Well, let's see what happens this season.
Then again, MetLife is a shitty stadium.
I mean,
as far as the field turf is concerned.
Now let's talk pending free agents.
Yeah.
Apparently, I didn't know this. Kyle Allen is on the list as a pending free agent.
Well, yeah, Kyle Allen was a free agent from Buffalo because he was only there for like a 1-year deal.
Okay.
Yeah, he was only there as like a stopgap, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
When you do that, when you do that with backups, you basically just tend to go, hey, we're gonna need we'll need you when you need you, but hey, sign this 1-year deal. Here, pretty much you're holding the clipboard, easy money.
Now, as I'm looking at the free agent list, I'm going to go down the teams here and see who I see as notable. So for the Buffalo Bills, notable ones for me is, I would say, Micah Hyde. Definitely Tim Settle. Probably, I would say, Shaq Lawson. Latavius Murray as well as a decent backup running back. I think Jordan Phillips. I think he's good, isn't he?
Yeah, Jordan Phillips is good. But I would definitely say Buffalo probably won't resign Micah Hyde. Definitely not. I think either he finds a new team this year or he's retiring.
Yeah, he's been in the league for a while.
He has. He's also had a major neck he had a major neck injury last year. The year before, I'm sorry, but
the Dolphins have a lot of defensive players that are being free agents.
Yeah. I think that's going to be very interesting next year for the AFC East as far as like the undercard is concerned.
Yeah, they're
because right now it is still looking like Buffalo's division to lose.
At the moment, it looks like it is.
At the moment, however, Buffalo has to figure out their cap situation. And there are rumors that Stephon Diggs might be gone.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's going to be gone. I honestly think his tenure is probably 2 years overdue of being in there. I think that's all started last year, and it just
I think it started to come to a head last year.
yeah, and
The
this year.
season before, like when he started to show his ass with the Bengals.
Yeah, there was a lot of signs that Diggs was almost on his way out.
Yeah. And to be fair, to Stephon Diggs, I think he is still a good wide receiver, but I think his time at the number one position is over.
We have breaking news shared by Jamie. The Jets trade Zach Wilson to McDonald's. The Jets receive a Big Mac, medium fry, a medium Coke, and McDonald's receives Zach Wilson.
That's too rich for McDonald's. Jeez, they overpaid. Zach Wilson isn't worth a regular Big Mac meal. He's only worth 2 McChickens and a McDouble.
So we're looking at the Patriots free agents, and a few of them that stand out to me is Jalen Reagor, Hunter Henry, which he can never stay healthy ever since leaving the Chargers, Mike Gesicki, who else? Miles Bryant, maybe Jalen Mills. Matthew Slater's retired. He just retired. He was a special teams. He actually might be considered for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So I mean that's kudos to that.
But as far as Jalen Reagor is concerned, I mean, hands of stone, Jalen Reagor.
There used to be once upon a time used to be Aguilar, but he's improved a little bit surprisingly.
Yep. Yeah, fucking Aguilar improved.
See the Jets.
And Jamie is here. Welcome, Jamie. We are talking draft and free agencies.
Welcome, Jamie.
What's up, guys?
We are live, so anybody can listen to us right now. Just to let you know.
Yep.
Go ahead and give us a follow if you haven't.
Yep. And Jamie, like I said, we were talking about the draft. We were talking about free agency and the free agents. Do you have anything you want to add to what we've been talking about, my friend?
I think it's interesting that the Commanders have already made a slew of moves. One actual surprising move of releasing Nick Gates after signing a 3-year deal last year. I mean, I think I was surprised that they released him.
Can you increase your mic up a little bit, man?
Sorry, I'm using my phone. Can you hear me that better now?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little better. Sorry about that.
All good. Of course, the one day that I forget my AirPods. But Washington releasing Nick Gates after just signing his 3-year deal last year, I think is kind of a surprise. Not necessarily a shock based on how they played.
Which one was Nick Gates?
He was a center.
Okay, so I have a story on that. I thought that's who that was.
Okay.
Remember the previous center we had? What was his name?
Yeah, it was like, wasn't it Cheeseman?
Yeah, Cheeseman. So
The long snapper?
Yeah, the long snapper. So who was the long snapper before Cheeseman? It was I can't remember his name. Who was before Cheeseman? Who was our long snapper? Was it I can't remember his name now.
I don't remember his name.
Hold on. There's a story out there where he said that Ron Rivera told him, "Oh yeah, you're coming back next season," and then he suddenly gets cut, released, and replaced with Cheeseman, and then he's like, "I saw the writing on the wall before they released Cheeseman. I knew that was going to happen." So there was some shady stuff going on inside the locker room with Ron Rivera and that offensive line. So there's some I gotta look it up, but it's some juicy stuff.
Oh yeah, there's definitely something, but something that I like is Dan Quinn and staff have a solid idea of what they're actually going for.
Better be a better idea than what they did last year. Shit.
No, anything could be better.
Yeah, because that defense had more holes than a colander, and that offensive line couldn't block anything if like it was Twitter.
But rumor has it Dan Quinn is expected, if if the Texans do not make a push, Dan Quinn is looking to make a move towards Dalton Schultz to bring him to Washington.
Ooh, nice. Nice move.
And then the other route that they're looking is on the defensive side, targeting defensive edge Brian Burns.
So we got some good moves going on in Washington. Definitely.
But that's all neither here nor there. So we'll see what actually happens.
Right now they're just only rumblings. That's all they are.
Yep, only rumblings, and they're removing people to create even more cap space, even though they walked in with the most cap space going into this offseason.
Not just cap. They don't only have cap space. They also have draft capital.
Yes, they do.
Here we go.
A fuck ton of it.
I found the article. So Nick Sundberg
Oh, that's what it was. Yes.
told G&D that Cameron Cheeseman changing his long snap technique was a bad decision. So Nick Sundberg said that he never changed his technique because that messes with everything. That messes with your rhythm and all that. He said that he made a bad decision in my professional experience. In my opinion, as a long snapper, you tend to not get better at snapping when you get to your mid-20s. You develop your talents when you've become the best long snapper that you can be. So he thinks that because that they did that, I guess because somebody told him to change his technique. Let's see. I'm guessing his technique was told to be changed. I'm trying to see if I can find if there's any kind of
yeah. Well, if you change anything on any type of habit on any offensive lineman per se, then you really screwed things up. The late Uche Nwaneri would say that an offensive lineman is all about their technique.
Yeah, it's all technique, and I mean apparently somebody told him he had to change his technique, and once his technique changed, that's where it all went downhill.
Yep.
Whoever's in Washington, hopefully that guy is going. That was training the offense.
Yeah, I believe they did. I believe they did a full coaching purge, in Washington.
I think they did. I didn't hear if they released every single body, but I know
They pretty much did. They only retained like one guy, which was
And
Ryan
I think
Kerrigan
that one
as
guy
linebacker
was
assistant
special
coach.
teams.
Well, actually, Ryan Kerrigan's still there.
Yeah, Kerrigan's the only one who maintained his role as assistant linebacker coach.
And the only reason why is because he has a passion for that team. He has a hard passion for that team, man. He is dedicated.
Yeah, and he also fits like the kind of coaching style that Dan Quinn wants to have. Like when you look at any of the teams that he's been a part of, he groups after passion and hard work, and that's what you're getting in Dan Quinn.
Well, I'm gonna say this openly about Washington's expectations next year. I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit. I think Washington will miss the playoffs next year, but they'll have like a 9-8 season, but just miss the playoffs.
So you're saying they'll be in the conversation at least to the end.
Yes, they'll be one of those eliminated at the last week type of conversation.
Now, here's one thing.
At this point, I'll take it.
Here's one thing I want to try to figure out. Why hasn't Washington went after Chris Cooley to be a tight end coach? Because Chris Cooley also has a hard ass passion for the team.
I think as of right now, I think it probably has something to do with management. They want established names as far as like coaching names, and even though Chris Cooley is an established Washington player, they don't know enough about his coaching acumen, especially in the pro level. So that makes a little bit of sense, but then again, I could just be blowing smoke up.
I mean, also, he could be like some sort of like guidance, like trying to help the younger tight ends that come up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, yes, he was like the tight end for the longest time in Washington, but when did you actually have a counterpart that was drafted as a tight end and groomed up to be as good as Cooley?
Yeah.
It didn't happen. So even though he was a stout athlete, he very well could not have the coaching ability to take what he knows and apply it into other people.
And no offense to Chris Cooley, I also think that the coaching staff that he was under might not have given him enough knowledge to
Or
bring
opportunity.
over. Yes, to like drop knowledge into his lap to carry forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that probably might have affected it too. So,
Well, I have listened to his radio show. He's very passionate towards the team.
No, I don't think anyone's ever going to say that he doesn't have the passion.
I feel like he could be a good mentor at least.
yeah.
Because when was
he's still involved in the Washington organization. He's just not a coach.
Yeah.
So he's still around. So he's still able to provide that without having the coach labeled out on him.
He also could be enjoying what he's doing right now with the organization. That could also make some sense.
He also does pottery.
I mean, who wanted to imitate their best Patrick Swayze?
But the biggest thing is that Washington. That's the one thing that Washington hasn't really had since Cooley's left is a well-established tight end.
Yeah, and that's why I'm hoping that Houston does a stupid thing and not re-sign Dalton Schultz.
Yeah.
Because that's the guy I want.
Another thing too is apparently, like I said, Buffalo, has to move some capital, and everyone's saying, hey, Dawson Knox could be available for draft capital.
It's possible.
Yeah,
There's also trade rumors that, speaking of draft capital, Washington may be trading Sam Howell to another team in exchange for a third-round pick. Apparently, there's rumors that multiple teams have requested to speak on trades for Sam Howell, and the average was third round.
And I hate to say this, Ben. I know we were talking about this earlier. How management do like Sam Howell. Sometimes, man, when the price is right, you gotta move. I hate to say it like that, but when the price is right and you want to make a move like that,
And if you're Washington, you get an offer you absolutely can't refuse. That's even more leverage to even trade up again. So not only would they have the ability, if they do end up keeping their second pick, they could use that extra trade and that extra draft capital to put up a package to get another pick inside the first round.
Exactly, or like package Sam Howell and like the third round pick to move up to get a good second. The Jets might be a good option for Sam Howell.
Yeah, sit underneath Aaron Rodgers for a year, understand how he can distribute the ball quickly and accurately, and then once Aaron decides to ultimately go to Minnesota, then it can be Howell time.
We know it's his destiny. We know
it
it's
is
his
destiny.
It is his destiny to cosplay as Brett Favre 2.0.
It's written in the stars, my friend.
The only thing he needs to do to scratch that off his bingo card is he needs to go to Minnesota, play for a year, or play for at least 2 more years in Minnesota, retire ungracefully, and then commit some type of welfare fraud. Allegedly.
No bad feelings, Brett Favre.
Yeah. Have we talked about draft at all?
Yes, we have. We mainly talked about Caleb Williams' immaturity.
Yeah, we don't.
Oh, yeah, I'm there with you.
Yeah, we don't.
I like him as a player, but his off-field stuff is a big turnoff.
Like Ryan Leaf and Johnny Manziel, bitch, I'm not going to show my ass when I get my contract. I'm going to show my ass before I even step onto the stage.
Yeah, he hasn't even remotely showed any type of leadership skills. He has shown that he's reluctant to cooperate in any type of medical exams. What are you hiding, my dude? Why don't you want them to see your medical exams? Why don't you want to see their medical history? What are you hiding?
He might be on some type of gas.
It could, but actions speak louder than words. And my man says all the right things, but the actions just don't match up with what he says in his interviews. Because I've listened to interviews that he's had, and if you're taking words as value, he says all the right things. Which I can see why a lot of people.
To be fair.
A lot of people draw towards him. They look at what he's saying. They look at the on-field product that he has put out this past year. But then, the closer we get to draft, with all of these things that he's hesitant to do and the things that he's opting out of to do, it screams red flags to me.
Don't be tempted by a snake oil salesman, for fuck's sake.
I am very hesitant on his mental stability because of the simple fact of how he reacted to losing. I can't remember what team they played, but they lost.
Talking about the infamous crying with his mom meme?
Yeah, what natural born leader of a football team, the quarterback, and you're supposed to be a NFL stud, does that?
I can understand crying on the field, and then you're, I can understand that because some of the biggest moments in the NFL have had players cry on the field.
And then you had his little comment interview thing when he was being asked by the press, well, how do you handle a hard loss? He says he goes home, cuddles his dog, and watches Netflix. No, you go home and watch fucking film, you idiot.
Yeah, what mistakes did I make last game? Exactly.
You don't tell a reporter, I want to go home and I hug my fucking dog all night.
And then Netflix and chill. Now, what would be, what would have been as bad is if he said, "Oh, I go home and go on computer and watch Brazzers."
Or OnlyFans.
Brazzers.
Brazzers.
They do have like a 7-day trial for for occasions.
They do question his mental stability. And then you have, who was the guy who said that he didn't believe planets existed? Who was that? Jamie, I can't remember who that was. Didn't you share that? Or somebody shared that. Let me see if I can find it.
I don't remember that one. I didn't share that one.
But it definitely sounds like a quarterback that listens to the song Miracles by ICP.
No, this isn't even a quarterback, I don't think. I think it was a safety. Hold on.
No response to my comment on that one?
No.
I said that he probably listens to the song Miracles by ICP and thinks it's a life lesson to live by. Fucking magnets, how do they work?
There we go. Former Texas Tech defensive back Tyler Owens claimed that he doesn't believe in space nor the existence of other planets, and said flat Earth theories had some valid points.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, my guy?
I am
That's
so
all I can really
glad
say.
that guy is not going to be a first-round draft pick, because I can definitely tell you what he'd be in my mind. He'd be a fucking idiot.
So, speaking of idiot, they were talking about maybe possibly getting rid of the Wonderlic. I don't even know if they did yet, but they were talking about getting rid of it.
No, don't get rid of the Wonderlic. The Wonderlic is a necessary test.
It is.
Yeah.
For any important job, you have to pass Wonderlic in order to get that job.
Yes. And in all open honesty, you know who actually has the lowest score on Wonderlic, right?
Is it you?
Brady? I don't know.
No. Vince Young.
Wow.
A 1 on the Wonderlic.
Good
Wow.
Lord.
Yeah, I mean, I know Achilles Smith had a 9, but Vince Young had a 1. Wow.
I mean, for my job, I've passed the Wonderlic, so I don't know how much different it is on the NFL level, but still.
Yeah.
So
I passed the Wonderlic with my job before I got injured, but, hey.
Here's my question. For both of you. Starting with Cobra. Who do you feel the Bears are taking number 1?
Who do I feel the Bears taking number 1?
Yes.
Well, if the rumors are that they're going to trade Fields are true, they're gonna make me bust out laughing with milk out of my nose for Caleb Williams.
I would agree. Everything points that Chicago's going to be taking
everything
Caleb Williams.
Unfortunately, points to Caleb Williams, and trust me, I'm going to be laughing because I think he is definitely going to be the biggest reach of the draft.
He's not going to be able to handle Chicago. If they thought Justin Fields couldn't handle Chicago, he's not going to be able to handle Chicago.
Nope.
And it's cold there, too, and he's used to be in USC all of his years. Yeah, no.
Now, on the flip side, who do you think Washington will take at the number 2 spot if they do end up keeping that spot?
So
if they end up keeping it, if there's an offensive lineman available that high, that's who they'll get.
In my opinion,
So you don't think they're taking quarterback?
No.
So
Interesting.
where I think this is if they do keep Sam Howell, they're either going to draft Joe Alt from Notre Dame, or they're going to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. Which I don't think they're going to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. Even though Washington needs.
I think that'd be in reach for Marvin Harrison Jr.
Maybe. I mean, it might be. I mean, I think he's talented. But
I think he's a top 10 receiver, not top 3.
If they keep Sam Howell, I'm going with offensive tackle.
I'm sorry, top 10 draft pick, not top 10 receiver.
True.
So,
and
I had to clarify.
If they trade Howell, I could see them getting May.
you're just getting a Sam Howell 2.0. That's all you're getting.
Or Baker Mayfield 3.0.
That or Daniels. It's either one of those two.
I'm completely opposite of you guys. This new regime, talking ownership group, talking coaching staff, they want their guy. They want no part of the Rivera-Snyder era. And unfortunately, Sam Howell is part of that era.
Sadly.
So my expectation is Washington will end up keeping their second pick and drafting Jaden Daniels out of LSU. I think by far he is the absolute best quarterback in the class, better than Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I actually do want to switch mine.
To be fair, Jamie, I'm with Ben on this one. As much as the hype is high for Caleb Williams, he is not a number 1 pick, in my opinion.
Who, Caleb Williams?
He is unfortunately only a number 1 pick because the Bears have habits for reaching on quarterbacks.
But if you look at
all you have to say are 2 quarterbacks, Cade McNown and Mitch Trubisky. That's all you have to say.
Would you like my top 5 in quarterbacks for this draft class?
Go ahead.
I have Jaden Daniels, number 1. I have Michael Penix Jr. at number 2.
That's interesting.
I have Drake May at 3.
Okay.
Then Caleb Williams at 4. Then Bo Nix at 5.
Nice. That is very interesting, Jamie. Unfortunately for me, I do not follow college football that much. Unfortunately for me, and I feel ashamed about that. But at the same time, it's like college football has gotten so, what's the word? So
monopolized?
Yes. Like, it is an unfair organization, the NCAA is anyway, to the college athlete anyway. So, that's all I have to say about that.
No, I do want to say that I didn't mean May, I meant Daniels. But yeah, I agree with Jamie, though. I think Daniels is the better quarterback out of those 3.
Yeah.
And
then again, adding to my comment, I also believe that college is a scam anyway.
Yeah, but if you actually go back to last year when we were talking draft, I was quoted on record saying that C.J. Stroud was the best quarterback in that draft class.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, to be fair, I think the response was we didn't know yet, and we didn't believe it. But we also didn't believe in the Panthers pick anyway. So.
Oh, the Panthers pick nobody believed in.
Yeah, and Bryce Young was just, again, they could have had the fancy Honda, the fancy Honda Civic Si. Instead, they confused the Honda Civic with a Little Tikes car that is red and yellow.
I mean, if you really think about it, Caleb Williams is just a taller Bryce Young.
Or a
if you really think about it.
Caleb
Actually,
Williams is a taller Johnny Manziel.
or a Leinhart, wherever his name was.
Matt Leinart.
Yeah.
I mean, both from USC, but is Caleb Williams left-handed?
No matter.
Well, either way, quarterbacks from USC.
They
Quarterbacks
never
from
pan out.
USC, unfortunately, have a history of being divas.
I mean, look at the Ohio State quarterbacks. They don't really pan out too well either.
No, they don't. Ohio State quarterbacks, USC quarterbacks don't really pan very well.
I mean, we're going to completely disregard that C.J. Stroud's from Ohio State.
Well,
I mean, you got to get one.
He is the outlier. He is the outlier.
And I mean, Justin Fields hasn't been bad.
No.
He's better than most. So the past couple quarterbacks from there have been better.
But
He hasn't been bad.
The only issue with Justin Fields is he's on the Bears.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and that's what I'm saying. Like going off of the past couple, you can't really.
The Bears are run by a geriatric legacy owner who married George Halas and her incompetent sons.
Here's another one. What if the Steelers trade for Fields?
I could see that happening.
Could see that happening, but I think they're gonna try to get someone else. As far as a veteran quarterback.
Well, the rumor is Pennington. I mean, Tannehill. I mean, Jesus, Pennington. Chad Pennington.
Yeah. Well, they're from the same mold, man.
Might as well be.
Yep. So we should get ready to wrap this up. Ben has to get ready to leave soon. Unfortunately, we will have to wrap this up. We are going to do that. So we're going to first thank our affiliate sponsors in our Spotify description down below. When you do listen to us on Spotify, I should say, we have Duke Cannon Supply, Dr. Squatch, Sleeves, W Energy, Bulletproof Coffee, and finally Fanatics.
Baseball uniforms.
Yep, get your see-through baseball uniforms coming up. And speaking of baseball, we will on Friday night be talking baseball on Dirt and Turf. Yeah, we're doing that next week, right, Ben?
We're going to attempt this. We are going to try to get everybody together, get the troops together. If Jamie wants to join, whoever wants to be the host, we can do it. Just let me know.
Yep. Unfortunately, Fridays will not work for me because I am in a league race on Xbox Live with NASCAR Heat 5 during those time frames usually. However, also a plug. Make sure you listen in on Thursdays for the Lap Down podcast. We cover all things motorsports, and if you're into motorsports related things, that's another thing that you can get from Fanatics. Get your racing gear as the season has begun.
Yep, as long as it isn't see-through. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Kyle Larson hats aren't see-through.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, you will be. But and also before the season even begins, we will be looking to add some new sponsors. Hopefully, right, Ben? Before the football season begins.
We're gonna hope so. We're gonna try.
Yep, that's all we can do. So that is unfortunately it for the Hard Count by the Social Sports Pad podcast. I am the man they call Cobra, and on behalf of Ben and Jamie, we'll see you on the stage, because it is draft time. Next time we'll be on the Hard Count. But if we don't see you on the stage, we'll see you on the field.
However, if you're not on the stage, doesn't mean you can't play.
Exactly. Once again, see you on the field.
Exactly. Everybody have a great night.
See ya.